to the Ungovernables, the Captain's Crew, the LFA family, McGroin Nation. We are coming to you live from the deep red state of Tennessee on rumble.com/LFA TV. Welcome to Ungoverned. It's a big day today. There's going to be a lot that we're going to have to track while we're live this morning, and we're going to track it. I do think, I'll tell you what, I do think, we are getting some decisions from the Supreme Court today. So I'm trying to keep it up. SCOTUS blog. The one that I'm looking for and I'm hopeful about is Watson versus RNC. That is the mail-in ballot case, which is disputing the issue of whether the federal election day statutes, 2 U.S. Code Section 7, 2 U.S. Code Section 1, and 3 U.S. Code Section 1 preempt a state law that allows ballots that are cast by federal election day to be received by election officials after that day. I have high hopes for that decision. And from what I saw, there's about a 60 to 70% chance that goes in our favor, meaning late mail-in ballots, at least in federal elections, cannot be counted after Election Day, if they arrive after Election Day. So we want to we're gonna keep that up. We're gonna keep that being tracked. I think birthright. We may get the decision on birthright today as well, and that one is not going to go our way. I don't think that one's going to go our way. So we're going to keep that going. We're going to keep an eye on all of that in terms of Supreme Court decisions today. That is not going to be what we got the Monsanto decision right now. Let's see. Monsanto's facing billions and claims. Roundup. Okay. That's all right. That's a Roundup case. I don't know much about it, so I'm not going to go into it. I'm waiting for RNC versus Watson. That's going to be the big one. But we're not going to just be stalking SCOTUS blog all morning. What we are also going to do is talk about this huge Democrat civil war going on right now. There is dissension in the ranks over on the Democrat side of things. And you very rarely see this. You very rarely see it. But if, let me see if I could find this, Let me see if I could find this. This is a way back. Let's see. Let's see. No. Let me see here. I got to check this. I'm going to look and see if I could find a clip. Let me see if I could find this clip on, maybe I can't. I don't think I could find it. I'm looking to find it. There's no way those are the only ones that are in there, right? October 12th, 2023. That the Democrats were divided. Yeah, I can't seem to find it. I may have deleted the clip. I don't know but it's there. I remember saying it on October 12th, 2023, that the Israel issue was going to divide the Democrat Party for a very long time. And we have actually seen that. We have actually seen that play out, and it's now playing out to the point where it's actually dividing the country in a way. And I mean, you could say what you want, but it's hurting the Democrats. And right now how do I want to phrase this? It is still dividing the Democrats. It's still a wedge issue on that side of things. And you're looking at the communist takeover of the Democrat Party right now. The communist takeover of the Democrat Party. And the one deciding issue, John Fetterman points this out, the one deciding issue is the Israel issue. Zionism, Israel, Jews. It's not just about foreign aid to any other country. It's specifically Israel. You know where I stand on foreign aid. I want none. to anybody across the board. All foreign aid should just stop. That includes allies and enemies, and maybe non-allies or non-enemies, and just random. Just stop all of it. The Democrats are like, just stop it to that. Send it to Ukraine. Don't send it to Israel. Again, no standards, right? Israel is a dividing issue on the Democrat side of things, and it's also a dividing issue for minority voters. When you are a party like the Democrats, who for the last decade plus has labeled their, your political opponents Nazis, anti-Semites, bigots and racists, and folks who are intolerant, right? Xenophobes, oppressors. And then the radical forces in your party pivot to that very same anti-Semitism. And I don't like that word. I don't like that word. And I want to be very clear off the top so that people in the chat who love to come in and cause problems say, oh, are you saying anyone who criticizes Israel is anti-Semitic? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if Israel is the only country that you criticize, you might be anti-Semitic, because Israel is the only country in the world that is considered to be the Jewish homeland, right? Like, why would you single out just that country? Do you understand what I'm saying? You might be anti-Semitic, or you just might not like the country, the nation of Israel, because of its leaders and things of that nature, and you might not be anti-Semitic. I'm not saying anyone who solely criticizes Israel is also an anti-Semite. What I'm saying here, though, is when the Democrats come out here, and for the last decade plus, they've labeled Republicans, Trump supporters, MAGA supporters, anybody who wears a red hat with 4 words on it, right? You're an anti-Semite, you're a Nazi, you're it's Hitler, Trump is Hitler, Trump is Hitler, Trump is this, Trump is that. Now they've elected in a primary election a guy with a Nazi tattoo in Maine, hoping that he becomes the next senator. You've got a bunch of people now, these Democrat Socialists of America, who are all free Palestine, pro-Islam, anti-Israel, and in many cases, maybe the candidates themselves aren't saying the J word, but their followers sure as hell are, and it's energizing people. Again, I'm not saying criticism of the country or the government or the political apparatus of the state of Israel is anti-Semitic, because it's not. All the time. It's not. But if you're throwing the word Jew around as an insult, right? You're like, well, that sounds like you're Jewish. That's anti-Semitic, because now you're saying that being Jewish is a bad thing simply because you practice that religion. That's anti-Semitic. And everybody on the woke right and the left is doing that these days. And you know who I'm talking about online, social media, everyone's doing, that's anti-Semitism. Somebody is a bad person because of the fact that they're Jewish ethnically or religiously, that's anti-Semitism. Okay? Now, the radical left is thriving on this messaging. What have we seen on the right? We have seen, and this is why it was so freaking important. And if you were here with us last year and we went through the trials and the tribulations criticizing Andrew Tate, we were early when we talked about Tucker Carlson. We were early on Candace Owens. We were early on Nick Fuentes. We were early on these other members of the quote-unquote woke right, the Haji twins, and these Rudkowski and all the rest of them. We were early. You were here, and we were talking about it, and I was getting crap in the live chat and in comments. Stop the infighting. It is not infighting. Those people are not on our side if that's what they stand for. If you were here over the last 2 years and you stuck with it and you say, he's really been angry the last couple weeks. I don't like that he's so angry. Sean's so angry, but maybe he's right to be angry. Maybe there is something there. Now you're seeing it because what we have successfully done, and the job's not finished yet, but what we have successfully done and started the process in finishing here is, if you believe that crap, where being Jewish is bad, and you have to openly demonstrate your hatred for Israel. Like in 2020, you had to openly demonstrate that you hated white people. It's the same, folks, it is the same thing. I want you to think about this. Remember in 2020, after George Floyd, the whole taking a knee or posting the black square or making some sort of statement publicly that you hated white people, or that you apologize for being white, or you're gonna go kiss the feet of a black person simply because they're black and you're white, and you feel white guilt, and you had to virtue signal and publicly demonstrate, I'm not a racist. I actually don't even like my own race, if I'm white. Remember that in 2020? It's the exact same thing right now. Pay attention. The exact same thing right now with Israel. You have to, if you're on the left, openly declare not your criticism of the money that we're sending to that state, not your criticism of some of the laws that are, in place in the state of Israel, not your criticism of some of the tactics that are employed by the IDF or some of the strategies that are utilized by Bibi Netanyahu, or maybe you don't trust the Mossad. No. You have to openly proclaim your hatred for that entire country to the point where you have to say now, you don't believe it should exist. It is Black Lives Matter 2.0. And we have been saying that since the campus riots in 2024. Remember, I said Free Palestine's the new BLM. We've been saying it for years here, folks. There's a reason why I ask you to share with your friends, because you were 2 years early. You were 2 years early. We were way in front of this. I was still sitting in front of a freaking poster board on my wall. Remember the old Declaration of Independence with the Betsy Ross flag? And it would fall off the wall, and it was crooked sometimes, and I had a really crappy camera. Remember those days? Remember those days? You were way early. Folks, the left, that's the place for these people to go if they want to hate Israel, hate Jews, do all the anti-Semitism, do all the Jews this, the Jews that. It's not welcome on the right. So the left has fully embraced it, and there's a bunch of people who we called them woke right. Why? Because eventually they were going to wind up on the left. Because above all other issues, the hatred for Israel is number one for those people. And so they're like, well, nobody on the right is representing my hatred for Israel, so I'm going to join to the left. They have become single issue voters. And their single issue is their hatred of Israel, their hatred of Jews, many of them, and the left is where they can find their home. We told you this was coming, and it's happening right now. You can't deny it. Tucker Carlson, I'm not supporting the Republican Party anymore. Nick Fuentes, I'm voting Democrat. Candace Owens, I'm not voting Republican. They're all doing it. We told you they were going to do it. Stop the infighting. It wasn't infighting. We told you this was coming, and here it is. Here it is. And you were years ahead of this. Years. If you've been here for the last couple of years. And if you're new, thank you for coming in. Welcome. You're probably years ahead of something else that's going to take place a couple of years from now that we've been talking about here. Okay? Folks, we told you. And so here we are. The Democrats have said, look at all these disaffected Republicans in there. These people are saying they're MAGA voters, but they hate Israel. Let's hate Israel. Let's bring those people in. Fine, bring them in. Because you have made your entire party's messaging about oppression, bigotry, racism, xenophobia, My opponents are Nazis. My opponents are Hitler. And now what are you doing? Now you are targeting a group of people on the left. If you're a Democrat, a radical leftist, in this case, it's Jews. And you are going after them. You are trying to take their homeland away from them. You are trying to destabilize our relationships with allies in the Middle East for political points. And you're looking at these minorities who you have trained and programmed to recognize oppression. And they're going, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not nice. That's not tolerant. That's not right. That looks like oppression to me. And they are walking away. And I said this the other day. I think I said it last week or it might have been earlier this week. If you are a moderate Democrat, you don't have a home on the left anymore. It's gone. It's over. It may hurt you. It may hurt you to hear me say these things. It is gone. The party of the Kennedy Democrat, the party of the Clinton Democrat, that party is dead. It is gone. The establishment Democrats that tried to keep this, the Democrat Party on the rails, they're getting wiped out all over the place. It's over. Stop living in denial. Remove head from ass, get out from under the rock, take your head out of the sand and understand the party that you once supported is no longer your party. Bobby Kennedy said it. He didn't leave the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party left him. Tulsi Gabbard said that the same thing. Brandon Strzok of Walk Away, when he started that many, many years ago, said the same thing. You didn't leave the Democrats. The Democrats left you. You are now politically homeless. And it is no longer about Trump or MAGA or this or that for you and the Democrat. That's not who your fight is against. You might be a moderate Democrat. You might be a social liberal. You might love gay marriage. You might be more pro-choice than me, right? You might be, I'm not pro-choice at all. You might be, the Dignity Act. I like the someone say, I may like the Dignity. Fine. I'm willing to look at those issues and say, I disagree with that, and that. But if you want to stop this country from becoming a communist hellhole, there is only one choice that you have, and that is to vote Republican in the midterms. Because while Republicans may not be a perfect solution, they are not the problem. They can cause problems. They could get in the way. They could be obstructionist. They could piss us off sometimes, but they are not communists. There is a party in this country, one of the two major political parties in this country, the Democrat Party, that has openly embraced and pushed for communism. And if you don't want your country to be run by those people and to become a communist hellhole, then you have to vote Republican in the midterms. And so to those politically homeless Democrats now, former Blue Dogs, former Kennedy Dems, former Bill Clinton Dems, to you, if you are disgusted by the Democrat Party's not lurch to the left, their full-on sprint to embrace communism, endorsing and electing Nazi candidates like Graham Platner, making Israel a center point of their campaigning. Why would you be talking about Israel all the time? What can you do? Let me ask you a question. How does stopping military aid to Israel address the affordability crisis? Does anybody in the media want to ask the Democrats that question? Dana Bash, Joe Scarborough, any of you fools. Ask a tough question a day in your life. You don't like what you see here. Jake Tapper, who infamously called Donald Trump Hitler on the air. Next time you get a Democrat on who's in charge of the party, how about you ask him, hey, how does all of this conversation about Israel address the affordability crisis? If we would just have a mother media that would do its job, we'd be getting farther. That's our job, though, okay? If you're a Blue Dog, if you're a Kennedy Democrat, if you're a Clinton Democrat, and you are disgusted by your party's full-on sprint to embrace communism, embrace the platform of Graham Platner, embrace the platform of a Hassan Piker, this communist, socialist, seizing private property, Mamdani, tax the rich, even though the rich pay a ton of taxes as it is. Healthcare for all with nobody to pay for it, no way to pay for it. Wealth tax, billionaire tax, which will eventually become a millionaire tax, which will eventually become a 100,000-aire tax. If you're disgusted by your party's full-on sprint to embrace communism and communists, and you want to stop the communist takeover of the United States of America through the Democrat Party, I am willing to say, hey, I disagree with about 60% of your social ideas, but I'm willing, at least for the time being, to call a truce. I'll be friends with you. Let's stop the commies and let's settle the rest afterwards. Because if you don't want this country to be communist and I don't want this country to be communist, well, that's enough common ground for me, at least for the next 4.5 months. Consider it an olive branch. All right, quick break, and then we're going to dive even deeper. We also got to check the Supreme Court stuff here. Let's see. Mullen versus DOE. Let's see. Long wait. Could Sotomayor still be reading? Let's see. I want to see if... Did we get Watson? We got Mullen versus the Department of Education. We got Durnell, Amy, waiting for Amy to wait for Alito. 2 boxes and a 35-page dissent. Can't be too many more, or could there? Let's see. I'm looking to see if Watson came out. I don't see it. All right. Give it a second and I'll check and do some more. Before we get into all that, because we went a little long in the beginning, but we are here for 2 hours today. 2 hours. We fill in for the first hour of Jeremy Harrell's show. Rumble.com/LFA TV. And of course, anywhere you get your podcasts. Search Ungoverned, hit subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it. Let's get to a word from our friends at OFP Farms, OFPFarms.com, OFPFarms.com. I love sharing businesses that are built on faith, family, freedom, and hard work, and OFP Farms is one of those brands. They are a small family farm making handcrafted skincare with goat milk, grass-fed tallow, magnesium, and simple ingredients that your skin can actually understand. Their products are made for the everyday person dealing with dry skin, sensitive skin, sore muscles, tired feet, cracked lips, or just wanting something cleaner and more nourishing than what you find on most store shelves. And right now, in celebration of America's 250th birthday, OFP Farms is offering 17.76% off your entire order. This is their way of honoring our heritage, celebrating the freedoms we've been blessed with, and saying thank you to every freedom-loving customer who chooses to support small farms and small family businesses like OFP Farms. And we love OFP Farms. I went back on the, where is it? Goat Kisses lip balm. I got the eucalyptus. I'm almost done with this one. I'll be trying a new flavor again soon. Here it is. I love it. Oh, right there it is. And you see it on your screen. 17.76% off of your entire purchase at OFPFarms.com. That is OFPFarms.com. Oscar Foxtrot Papa Farms.com. OFPFarms.com. Promo code Sean for 17.76%. 17.76% off America 250 celebration. OFPFarms.com. Promo code Sean. OFPFarms.com. Promo code SHAWN. All right. What I'm going to do here is summarize the first 25 minutes thus far. Jackie in the chat says, I have goat kisses everywhere. My car, work, house, pocketbook, LOL. Everywhere. Okay. Because of the work that people like Misfit, James Lindsay, myself, Jeremy, and many other people who have called this out, because of the work that we have done, forcing these rabid, Jew-hating people out of our tent, they have one place left. They only have one place left to go, and that's the left. That's why we called them the woke right, because at the end of the day, they were always always going to wind up on the left because the way they think is not welcome here. It's not about, oh, you would need a blind loyalty to the cult. No, I just don't want to be in a party of people who hate Jews and think Hitler had a point, because that's the type of stuff they're saying. It's not welcome here. But right now, the left is doing their best Scott Stapp, and they are welcoming their people in. Those people with arms wide open, right? They're like under the sunlight. They're like, come on in. And they think they're adding to their ranks when really their embrace of that type of policy is driving minorities away at a rapid pace. And I'm going to have more on that in just a moment. I want to start off with some good, should we start off with some good? Or should we start? Yeah, let's start off with some good. Donald Trump had a rally last night, and he kicked off the Great American State Fair for America 250. I want to play for you some of the clips from that first, and then we'll get into the Democrat Civil War, because they kind of weave in and out, okay? And so we're going to try and marry the two right now. The Trump rally speech last night and then the Civil War on the left. We got about an hour and a half left this morning, so we should have plenty of time to get through all of this. Here's Donald Trump laying out the agenda, the schedule, and what's on the agenda for the Great American State Fair as he kicked it off yesterday with a really big and successful rally. Take a look.
Tonight, right here on the National Mall, we are beginning the most unforgettable birthday party any country has ever seen. Oh, you're going to have a good time. You're going to have a good time. This evening, it's my honor to officially kick off the celebration with the Great American State Fair. It's going to be great. It's going to be unbelievable. So from today through July 10th, this event will showcase all 56 states and territories. There will be no military flyovers. And I want to tell you something, because they're going to be beyond flyovers. There'll be something like you've never seen. You get just a little tiny glimpse of it tonight. By the way, how good is our Air Force? How good is nobody's ever seen those planes. They are serious planes. When the bad guys see those planes coming, they say, we give up. But we're going to have special performances, patriotic music, high-tech demonstrations, unique exhibitions, a FIFA fan zone, which is great, and it really has been big stuff, and even an old-fashioned rodeo. I love rodeo. I don't know how they do it. Then on July 4th, we will have the greatest show of all on the National Mall. Your favorite president will be speaking. So please show up. Because if we have 2 empty seats, you know what's going to happen? The fake news is going to say, he didn't fill out the arena. No, I'll be speaking. I'll be very proudly speaking as we ring in our 250th year with the largest fireworks display in world history, 10 times larger than any that we've ever done in Washington or in the United States. So if you like fireworks. Then in August, we're going to have what's called the Patriot Games, a first-of-its-kind competition featuring the greatest high school athletes from all across the United States. And applications are open through July 10th. These are the best athletes in the country, young athletes. And soon thereafter, we'll have a Freedom 250 Grand Prix right here in Washington around the Capitol.
That'll be cool. The Freedom 250 Grand Prix is going to be awesome. The events that are planned around America 250 sound like they're going to be pretty cool. Do I want there to be a little bit more? Maybe. But it was a good way for him to kick it off. And that's one thing. Look, that's what we're talking about right now. Republicans are talking about right now America 250. 250 years ago, the birth of the greatest nation ever to exist on planet Earth. Bar none. That's what we're talking about right now. And what are they talking about over on the left? Contrast, right? What are they talking about over on the left? America is a terrible place. It's an effing disgrace. Free Palestine. Jews this, Jews that, communist. We need to burn it down. I know what side I'm on. Here's President Trump last night at the rally that he hosted yesterday, talking about the origin story of the United States of America. Watch.
250 years ago, a new nation was founded by farmers and soldiers, shopkeepers and tradesmen who stood strong to defend their rights, their families, and their freedom from tyranny across the sea, from every city and town, from the mountains and valleys, from the backwoods and rocky shores. They came by the thousands to fill the ranks of American patriots and enlist their lives in the righteous cause of independence. That's what they did. This exceptional nation was forged and won by some of the bravest, toughest, strongest, most extraordinary people ever to stride the earth. Together we stand on the shoulders of incomparable heroes such as George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Abraham Lincoln, Benjamin Franklin, Alexander Hamilton, John Paul Jones, John Hancock at Lexington and Concord, Brooklyn and Saratoga, Trenton and Yorktown, and at Independence Hall in Philadelphia. These real-life legends and American icons poured out their blood, sweat, and tears and risked everything they had to purchase and to live the most priceless and glorious inheritance of any people ever to be on this earth. They all lived by the oath that Patrick Henry made immortal: give me liberty or give me death. For 250 years, every generation of Americans have taken up this same call to freedom, from the storied alleys of Boston to the streets of Philadelphia, from the golden fields of Michigan to the gleaming shores of California, and from Texas to Florida to right here in now beautiful and extremely safe Washington, D.C. Our American ancestors fought and won the most vicious battles. They explored and settled the most dangerous frontiers and let no challenge ever break their spirit or their pride. They were proud to be Americans. They love our country. They look down on us now. They love our people. Americans crossed the Great Plains, scaled the mighty Rockies, tamed the Wild West, and turned this continent into industrial powerhouses like nobody has ever seen. We laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers, built the great highways, invented the airplane, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism. We're going to have to do that again. And led humanity into space. And we did it all in the span of just 250 years. Now we are expanding the glory of American freedom into into a horizon that's never been seen before. We've never reached so high as we're reaching right now. This is our heritage. This is our history. And this is the destiny of America, to be the greatest, most incredible country ever to grace the earth. We are one people, one nation, marching into one magnificent future under our great American flag that we love and respect so much.
All right, there it is. Again, what side do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the side of the guy who's saying we're a great country? We have a great history. We're not perfect. Nobody says America's perfect. I certainly know America's not perfect. We have a history full of imperfections. But there's no such thing as a perfect country, is there? No country is perfect. Why? Because countries are run by human beings, and human beings are all flawed. Therefore, if the countries, these governments, these nations, whatever, are run by imperfect beings, there's bound to be imperfections, okay? But the United States is closer to perfect than any other country in the world, i.e., it is the best country in the world. And I would rather be on the side of the people who believe this country is the best country in the world. It is an example for how other people should live, despite its imperfections. Not on the side of people who say, burn it down, communism, billionaires, Jews, all these people, evil, oppression, reparations. This country's racist. It's awful. It's a disgrace. I mean, you got people like this Chevalier character in New York and Graham Platner in Maine saying America's a disgrace. America is absolutely not a disgrace. Has this country done some bad things? Sure. Every country has. We've done less bad things than most countries. I'll say that. We are the wealthiest country in the world, the most productive country in the world, the most innovative country in the world, the strongest military anywhere in the world. There's a reason why everybody wants to come to America. And it's not because this country is an effing disgrace. I want people to understand the contrast. You have an election coming up in four and a half months or so. A little under 4.5 months. And you're either going to vote for a party of actual communists. This is no longer like, hey, if you read deep into the messaging, you'll find like nuggets of communism. These are actual commies. They're actual communists. They're taking pictures in front of the hammer and sickle. They're openly embracing communism, period. They're saying that socialism worked. They're saying they are self-identifying socialists. It's no longer like trying to read into what Abigail Spanberger says and goes, that's reminiscent or that mirrors communist rhetoric. They're not hiding it anymore, is my point. You are either going to vote in these midterms for the Communist Party or the not Communist Party. And I'd rather give the not Communist Party power, because if you give communists power, you don't usually get power back. Okay? Let's move on. The theme of today's show is that the Democrats are in civil war. So let's focus on what's going on the left now, because we did this already. We saw this festering on our side and we said, no, that is not welcome here. You've got to go somewhere else. You come into our tent, you're dropping turds in the punch bowl, you're flinging sugar honey iced tea everywhere, you're behaving like animals, you're ruining the coalition that we built. Get out. And we have made it clear that the woke right is not welcome on our side of the aisle. So the left is welcoming in people like Ian Carroll, like Candace Owens, like Sean Ryan, like Megyn Kelly, like Tucker Carlson. Fine, welcome them in. That's fine. You can have them. They're your problem. Nick Fuentes, he's your problem now. He's not our problem. He's your problem now. He's your problem now. We kicked him out of our tent. He'll go fling sugar honey iced tea around in your tent. That's fine. I don't care what he does over there with you guys. As long as he's not over here with us. He's your problem. They're all your problem now. Have fun. You think it's good? All right. You haven't dealt with these idiots for the last couple of years. We have. You can have them. We policed our own side. We cleaned up our own house, and it's still a work in progress, but we've done it. The left doesn't do that. And they have openly embraced communism, and they have turned off a very large percentage, I believe, of their voters. The establishment Democrats right now are terrified over this new age, this new wing, this neo-Democrat, these neo-communists that are taking over the Democrat Party. They're terrified. Because they're not Democrats anymore. They are openly socialist. Let me show you Dollar-Stow.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
That's Obama impersonator. But Dollar-Stow Obama, Hakeem Jeffries, he is clearly nervous about the socialist takeover of the Democrat Party and what that means for him and the rest of the Democrat establishment. They are in a civil war, and they don't know how to handle it because they're not used to firing on each other. They're used to coalescing, right? The Democrats always stick together. Folks, there's a lot of infighting that is breaking out on the Democrat Party. And wouldn't you know it, it's because of these communists who have embraced the hatred of Jews and Israel and this whole, the Middle East and free Palestine. That stuff is a cancer. We've gotten it out of our body pretty much. It's in remission on our side of things, but it is metastasizing big time and spreading big time over there on the left. Listen to Jeffries.
I want to ask about the New York races. Nice to mention that. Are you worried at all about the influence of the Democratic Socialists in primaries there and across the country?
Well, there are 4 races in New York City, and I'm standing behind every single one of those races that involve an incumbent, of course, and that's Adriano Espaillat, Dan Goldman, Yvette Clarke, and Grace Meng. And then we're watching closely 2 open seat races that House Democratic leadership hasn't gotten involved in by custom. And that, of course, is in the 7th Congressional District, where Congresswoman Nydia Velázquez and a coalition of very progressive Democrats, including Tish James, the Attorney General, and the public advocate Jumaane Williams, along with the Working Families Party and many of the unions that we work closely with, are on one side of that race, with DSA on the other. We'll see what happens.
Ooh. He's admitting to the division. One side or the other. Ooh, who doesn't want to answer the question, does he? I'll tell you what, you think that was bad? You think that was bad? Watch this from Hakeem Jeffries. Watch this. He snaps at a reporter. Snaps. Clearly, this socialist, communist takeover of the Democrat Party has establishment Democrats like Hakeem Jeffries rattled. There's a reason, and it's not just because she's old and her teeth are falling out. There's a reason why Nancy Pelosi is retiring. Because it's not her party anymore. Shut up, Nancy! It's not her party anymore, and she knows it. And it may not be Hakeem Jeffries' party anymore, and he knows it. And it is keeping him up at night. Watch this. This is so telling. I mean, we have seen people who know they're about to lose act this way. This reminds me a lot of when Massey was on Capitol Hill snapping at reporters. Oh, the Epstein file with the googly eyes. Remember googly Massey? Watch this. It's almost the same display. He knows that he is about to be wiped out unless he falls completely in line with stuff that even Hakeem Jeffries, as far left as he is, may not be comfortable with. Watch this.
About the results in New York last night. You said Mamdani was not the future of the party. Do you regret those statements?
I think the future of the party is diverse, and it's anchored in the fact that we've got candidates all across the country who are running to take back control of the House of Representatives so we can end the national nightmare that's taken place. Mayor Mamdani has been off to a great start as mayor. We have a good working relationship, and that will continue moving forward.
The NRCC dropped off flowers at your office this morning and condolences for the candidates that you endorsed that lost. Do you have any reaction to that?
The thing is that the NRCC and Republicans spent millions of dollars trying to pick Mike Lawler's opponent, and they failed miserably. And Kate Conley, who's now the Democratic nominee, is going to take Mike Lawler out in November, and we're going to take back control of the House of Representatives.
And then finally, do you have any comment? Are you concerned at all about a primary challenge in 2 years from, a Mamdani endorsed candidate?
When you ask me a serious question, I'll give you a serious answer.
Why do you think the Mamdani endorsed candidates won?
That's a good question. And every race it's going to be judged on its own merits. And, I'm sure that there'll be an assessment of what happened in the Goldman race and what happened in the Espaillat race. But I'm thankful for the service of those two individuals.
Thank you.
Thank you, leader.
Wait, let's go back to this one again.
House of Representatives.
And then finally, do you have any comment? Are you concerned at all about a primary challenge in 2 years from, a Mamdani endorsed candidate?
When you ask me a serious question, I'll give you a serious answer.
That's not a serious question, Hakeem? Hakeem, that's not a serious question? You're not concerned about a Mamdani endorsed challenger taking your seat? That's not serious? Why? It's not a threat? After what you just saw? Not only is that a serious question for Hakeem Jeffries, and by the way, he knows it. It is a serious reality that is what is most likely coming for him. The Democrats, the establishment Democrats, have lost control of their party. This thing is a runaway train with no brakes, heading downhill very quickly. Now, the good news is they have gone crazy. We have not. We have given them our crazy. We had crazies. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Thomas Massey, Ryan Matta, Bobby. So all these people, these influencers, right? These idiots, the Haji twins. You can have them. Here, have them. You want more people? Here's more people. Here, have Fuentes, have Tucker, have these. Take them. Take them. They're crazy. You're crazy. You guys can lay down in bed and make more crazy with each other. We don't want them. They are your problem now. Have them. Have them. I will back the truck. Beep, 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 beep. Back them up. Back up the truck. Dump them on their driveway and drive away. You can have our crazy. We got rid of our crazy. Okay? Because crazy only has one home. It's on the left, not on the right. So they can have it. Crazy has taken over the left. And by the way, let's go to the left and read about it. CNN. This is not some right-wing outlet like Breitbart maybe trying to infiltrate and spark a little infighting and a little rage baiting. No. This is on CNN. There's a reason why this is on CNN, because there is a civil war that has erupted on the left with 4 months to go before the midterms. They are divided and they are eating each other alive. And the establishment Democrats are losing to the communists. The good news is everyone can now see it and no longer have to rely on us to decode comments because they're just openly proclaiming their love for communism. The bad news is they can win if we don't show up and we don't take it seriously. I don't want you to think that because I'm saying, look at all these crazy people on the left, that means we're automatically going to beat them. We're only going to beat them if you get off your asses. Everyone collectively picks up part of the load and carries it over the finish line. Because if there's anyone with the feet up, the hands behind their head, sipping a margarita, deep in the month of August, not doing the hard work, not sending any text messages, not sending any social media posts, not sending any emails, not walking their streets, knocking on some doors, or doing something to advance the football, then we're going to lose, and we know who we're going to lose to. We're not losing to Hakeem Jeffries. We're not losing to a moderate Democrat group of candidates. It's communism. The establishment has lost control, and they're admitting it now that this party is not what they thought it was, and it's not what it was in the past. They are panicking. It is now on Democrat outlets like CNN. Let's give this a read. House Democrats' anxiety rises after wins by Mamdani-backed candidates. Quote, are we going to let them take over the party? Not my words. Top Democrats insist that they're unfazed at the party's forming a Zohran Mamdani wing after the New York City mayor's stunningly successful primary night. Oh, you're unfazed? Is that why there's this article about you being unfazed? You need an article on CNN to say, we're unfazed by the stuff that's keeping us up at night. We're unfazed. Oh, okay. Okay. But there is growing angst. This is, again, folks, look at the banner. CNN. This is on CNN. This is CNN. There's growing angst among many sitting congressional Democrats after Mamdani allies won 3 primaries, including defeats of incumbent representatives Adriano Espaillat and Dan Goldman. Why did Dan Goldman lose? Why did Dan Goldman lose? Anyone in the chat know? You guys hear about what happened to him at the coffee shop? Progressive coffee shop in a blue city. Did you hear about it? Oh, he was denied service because he's Jewish and he supports Israel. Does that sound eerily familiar? Like something we saw in history, maybe like in the 1940s? Speaks got it. JJ Beach got it. Liberty's got it. Marx Madness. It's the Jews. Goldman is Jewish and supports Israel. Can't have that on the Democrat Party, can you? Can't have that, can you? Is that what you want to turn this country over to? This is no longer just a disagreement about policy or tax rates or you know, which asylum and not and amnesty and not and what's actually amnesty and what. This is like you have Nazis and you have not Nazis. That's where we it's that clear. It's that clear. Back to this piece on CNN because the left is telling on itself here, and this is one of my favorite pieces I've ever read on CNN. Most immediately, they worry it will make it tougher to flip the House this year, with Republicans eager to tee up the Mamdani slate's most controversial positions for attack ads in battlegrounds across the country. Quote, obviously, the socialists had a big win last night. The question is, are we going to let them take over the party, or are we going to stand up and fight back, said Representative Josh Gottheimer of New Jersey, a moderate Democrat who has criticized Mamdani's politics and how he's addressed allies of Israel. Many of us believe, as I do, that if you're a socialist, you're not a Democrat. I know he's probably done soon. Folks, we said that on our side. If you're a Nazi, if you're a one of these people, totalitarian, if you support persecuting people because they either support Israel, don't hate Israel, or are Jewish, you're not one of us. Get out. The left didn't do that. He's trying to do it. It's too late. That's what would have happened to us if we weren't out on the front lines highlighting these people and saying, get the out of our tent. Yes, Bad Moon, we do suck with the thumbs up button. Sitting here flipping out for an hour. We're not even sniffing Mo's butthole at this point. Come on, folks. Show some love. Hit the thumbs up button. Let's go. On Rumble. I don't want to see Bad Moon upset in the chat. I love that guy. I got you, Bad Moon. I got you, Mayor. Mayor Moon. Why'd I hit that? I don't know. I just felt like doing it. Gottheimer and others worry that Republicans will try to yoke their most vulnerable members to what they see as far-left ultra-progressives, and they worry that it will only highlight Democratic divisions in a must-win election year. Quote, if you ask me, it was not a good night for New York. Representative Greg Meeks, a powerful New York Democrat who was close with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, told CNN when asked about deleted posts from Daria Eliza Avila Chevalier, who defeated Espaillat, expressing support for abolishing police, abolishing prisons, and a wide-open border. Asked about the fraught relationship between Democrat Socialists of America and the Democrat Party, Meeks added, instead of us making sure we put all of our resources to fight Republicans and to fight Donald Trump, we're using it to fight each other. It just doesn't make common sense to me. This is not me making up, hey, I think there's infighting. Let's cause. This is Democrat elected officials saying, we got an infighting problem here, and the socialists are winning. Socialists are winning on the left. One Democrat lawmaker sitting in a battleground district told CNN that they are so concerned about the rise of the Democrat Socialists of America that they have recently begun having to have serious conversations with donors about leaving the party altogether. I'm not a Democrat. I disagree with many, many Democrats on many, many things. But in the short term, the enemy of my enemy may not be my friend, but they're welcome to take up political arms with us to prevent America from being taken over by socialists. This is the issue right here. Lock in. Democrats across the country, establishment, non-socialist Democrats are disgusted by the fact that their party has been taken over by socialists. If you want your party back, you have to beat the socialists. And you can't beat the socialists from inside of your own tent because you were too chicken shit this whole time to call it out. And now it has grown bigger than what you actually are. Their footprint in your party is bigger than your footprint. You don't have a chance against them unless you vote against them. In that case, you have to vote with us. You don't have to change parties. You don't have to declare any allegiance to the Republican Party. You don't even have to agree with 60, 70% of what we say. If you want to take the Democrat Party back from socialists, you can no longer do it internally. You're going to have to do it with us. You can no longer do it internally. That's why what we did on our side by pushing out these rabid, blackpilling, doomer, I hate Jews, I hate Israel, I hate Trump, everyone I don't like is a pedophile. Look, that's why us acting proactively and getting those people the hell out of our tent was so important. Because if we had just let it continue to fester, we would be in the same situation that the left is in right now. Looking at it going, how the heck are we going to address this? No. Instead, what we did is we took the poo flingers in our tent and said, you can go fling poo in another tent. You're not flinging it here. The left loves flinging poo. Go over there. That's fine. That's why it's important to police our own. That's why it's important to have our own house in order. Quote, back to CNN. If Democrats do flip the House, the number of Democrat socialists in their ranks is still likely to be a small minority of the caucus, and Democrats remain confident that they can still win the House in November. Copium! The House Democrat caucus gathered for a private briefing by their party arm on Wednesday morning, where the party leaders presented internal polling showing Trump underwater in key battlegrounds. According to two people familiar with the briefing, no one brought up the Mamdani-backed candidate wins. Can't bring it up because it's a problem. The Mamdani-backed candidates who won on Tuesday ran on the same affordability message that the party has embraced nationally, but their victories highlight broader friction over Democrat status quo tactics in Washington, as well as deep divides on Israel. Quote, our party nationally will need to reckon with this fact, given that what you witnessed yesterday was not an anti-affordability or anti-economic policy strategy that won. It was an anti-establishment strategy beyond messaging that trumped, a senior House Democrat aide told CNN. Folks, This is a major inflection point. And is a huge opportunity. It is a golden opportunity for us. Golden opportunity for us to destroy the Democrat Party. They have stacked a bunch of wood. They've struck a match. They've lit a fire. And they're now pouring gasoline on that fire, and they're burning their own party down. They have allowed the poo flingers into their tent with open arms, and they have allowed, you want to burn it down and build it in your image? Okay, I guess that's what you're going to do. They have allowed this. We can now refill their gas can. Oh, you want more gas? Here you go. Bye. Oh, you need more firewood for the fire that you're using to burn down your own party? Here's some wood. I'm going to arm you. Go ahead. Go for it. And then we show up in November and we beat them. We have to. All right, let's take a quick break and then we're going to get back to this topic. All right, and we get back to this topic. Quick break. Let's get to a word from our friends at Covepure, COVEPURE.com/Sean, Covepure.com/SHAWN. America 250 right around the corner. Saw Trump's rally last night. It was, I would say, fairly entertaining. Some good stuff in there. We played a few clips. We got a couple more clips of Trump on this. We talk about this Democrat civil war that's going on. About an hour left. Annette Smith says, good point, Sean. Didn't see how important that was getting them out. Buy Groypers. Yes, I'm so happy Annette and so many others are seeing this. A lot of people were so confused. Why are we talking about it? Just ignore it. Just ignore it. Remember that? How many of you, and I'm not trying to rub your nose in the crap, right? But like, how many people a year ago were like, just ignore it. Oh, she's irrelevant. If you stop talking about her, she'll go away. No, she won't. Candace Owens or Tucker or all these people. The best way to make them go away is to send them away. Get out of our party. That's the best way to do it. And now you are seeing why it's so important. Look at what's going on the left with a bunch of radicals, anti-Semites, anti-Zionists, anti-Israel. It's not critical of Israel. Critical of Israel is like me. I am critical, and I would like to scrutinize every dollar that leaves this country. There is a hatred of Israel on the left. Hatred. And you have to openly proclaim it. That's different than saying, hey, I think we might be sending them a little too much money. A lot different. Watch what happens on the left. Look at that civil war that's brewing over there. Look at the takeover of their own party by people who they thought if we just ignore them, we'll be okay. Nope. All right, let's get to a word from our friends at Covepure, COVEPURE.com/Sean, COVEPURE.com/SHAWN, America 250, right around the corner. I am excited for it. 250th birthday. You heard the agenda for the Great American State Fair and the Patriot Games and all sorts of good stuff that's going to be happening to celebrate the 250th birthday of our beautiful country. Here's the crazy part. 250 years later, it's a great country, the greatest on earth, but we're still drinking whatever the government decides to put on our water. Fluoride for your teeth, chlorine to keep things clean. That's not a decision that I want someone else making for me, my family, or anybody else. That's why I use Covepure to purify every drop of water in this house. Over 209 million Americans are on fluoridated water right now, and here's what the science actually shows. A recent study confirmed that fluoride exposure is linked to lower IQ scores in children. That's not a fringe study. That's from JAMA Pediatrics, one of the most respected medical journals in the world. And chlorine. That's not even the worst part. The fact that it's in the water, it's what happens when it reacts with natural particles in your water from plants and soil. It creates chemical byproducts called THMs, which the government itself calls probable human carcinogens. It's linked to disruption of your gut and cancer. Now, there are some states who have moved on it. Utah and Florida have banned fluoride, but that process takes years to fully implement. And in between that time, Your kids, your family, they're drinking all that garbage in your water right now. You need something that works today. And that is exactly what Cove Pure does. Cove Pure is certified to remove up to 99.9% of contaminants, fluoride, THMs, pharmaceuticals, PFAs, anything that isn't water gets filtered out of your water via the great reverse osmosis technology of the CP16. And I love the fact that it doesn't just serve up empty water. The Cove Pure actually remineralizes with calcium and magnesium before you start drinking. So don't wait for the government to catch up. Take back control of your water. And in honor of America's 250th birthday, Cove Pure is giving this audience $250 off if you use my link, COVEPURE.com/Sean. Don't wait. That is Charlie, Oscar, Victor, Echo, Papa, Uniform, Romeo, Echo.com/Sean. Sierra Hotel Alpha Whiskey November. CovePure.com/SHAWN for $250 off to celebrate the 250th birthday of America. CovePure.com/SHAWN. CovePure.com/SHAWN. All right. Onwards and upwards here. Onwards and upwards here. Pop back in on that CNN article just quickly and see if there's anything else we want to highlight. You look at the infighting on the left and the opportunity that this presents us and the lessons that we are learning. It feels good today to know that we were on the right side of that fight in our own ranks. You want the crazies? Go have the crazies. I want to show you actually, I'm gonna highlight something for you right now. Let me go over to X. And there's a couple of posts that I've bookmarked about this. Here we go. Latina Brown is an account on X. She says, I'm a mother. Her bio is I'm a mother, a fighter, a believer, and an advocate, political commentator, political activist, and common sense leader. We don't follow each other. But this woman wrote an interesting post here. I'm hearing from multiple leaders that Jews and Dominicans will be exiting the Democrat Party and going Republican. This needs to happen. The GOP should be out on the ground registering new voters. When you are a party that focuses on nothing but oppression, it's the oppression Olympics. It's all this, this person is a Nazi, this person's an oppressor, slavery, reparations, victimhood. Everyone's got to be a victim. And then all of a sudden they see that you're doing the things to Jewish Americans or pro-Israel supporters that you claim to stand against. It's going to turn them off. Here's another one from Latina Brown. She writes, look at the people that put Daria Eliza Chevalier into office. All white far leftists that moved into Harlem less than 5 years ago. She did not receive votes from blacks, Dominicans, and Jews because they all backed Congressman Adriano Espaillat. Democrat Socialists of America is winning through low voter turnout. Only 10% came out to vote. DSA is ran by extreme white, left-leaning liberals. To all of the reporters, journalists, and media, the radical Islamic groups will replace you. Just you all wait. They have it all mapped out. Minorities did not vote for these socialist candidates. A 2021 survey, this is from Billy Binion on X, found that 85% of the DSA was composed of white people. And a huge chunk of them make six figures, and almost everyone has a college degree. It is elite progressives trying to speak for poor minorities who mostly don't want what they're selling. These minorities are not voting for socialism. Bring them in. Even if we disagree on a lot, bring them in. Olive branch is being extended. If you want to stop the socialist takeover of your party and the socialist communist takeover of the United States of America, I'm willing to bring you in I'm willing to stand with you. I'm willing to enlist you into our ranks, even if it's just temporary, to get that under control. You have to understand this on the left right now. Because you waited so long to address the festering socialist, communist wing of your party, they now have a much larger footprint than you have. You cannot fix this internally anymore. You can't. You let this happen. The only way to fix this is to defeat them by standing with us. That's it. That's it. If you want to fix your own party and you can't do it internally anymore, and that is clear, you cannot do it internally anymore, and you're going to have to enlist with some external fixes and folks who are looking to do that as well. All right. I want to go to another clip from Donald Trump. This is the messaging that I believe, especially after Tuesday night in New York, that we have got to be focused on. It drives a wedge on the left. It opens people's eyes because, we for years have said the left is communist, the left is socialist, the left is communist, the left is socialist. But you have these people that were pretending to be moderates. They're not pretending to be moderates anymore. So when we say the left is communist, the left is socialist, the left is, anti-Israel, anti-Semitic, they're like, hell yeah, we are. We hate Jews. And we got the Nazi tattoo guy and we love this. We no longer have to compete with them trying to disguise it. They're openly embracing it. This here from Trump should be the message going into the midterms, one that we continue to focus on. Do you have to like Donald Trump? No. Do you have to wear the MAGA hat? No. Do you have to be somebody who agrees with 80 or 90 or 75% of what the Republican Party platform is? No. All you have to do in 4 months is make the conscious decision that you will not vote for any candidate in the Democrat Party because the Democrat Party has been taken over by communists and socialists. And so even if you're like, yeah, but, Johnny Jones, who I'm voting for Congress, he's not a socialist. If he is a member of the Democrat Party, he will have no choice but to embrace socialism and communism or get primaried out in 2 years. Hakeem Jeffries knows that. That's why he called that question ridiculous. He refuses to answer it because he knows that's reality. He is a hostage. If you are a moderate Democrat elected on Capitol Hill and state office, wherever you are, if you're an elected official and you're a moderate Democrat, you are a hostage to the communists and the socialists that have taken over your party. If you are a Democrat voter, it doesn't matter if the guy who's running as a Democrat is a moderate and a blue dog and a Clinton Democrat or a Kennedy Democrat. They are hostages. They have no power. If you put that person in, all you're doing is giving more power and more influence to the people who run your party, and those people are communists. Donald Trump has said it yesterday, and he is going to continue to say it, I hope. And it's something that I'm going to continue to say as well. America does not want communism. Watch.
Every election's important. We're doing very well. They want a lot of communists to come in. I'm saying it a little bit differently, but the people that they're pushing are communists, and this country is not going to have communists. Thank you very much.
This country is not going to have communists. That's the message. And it's no longer us going, well, if you go to page 3 on the Black Lives Matter website, you will see language that mirrors that in Marx's Communist Manifesto. We don't have to look that deep anymore. You have a woman, Chevalier in New York, who has called this country a disgrace, who wants to abolish prisons, who wants to abolish police, who wants to abolish ICE, who believes Israel currently doesn't exist. Not that it doesn't have a right to exist, that it's just not a place. Listen, I'm America first. My biggest problem with her is not that she believes Israel doesn't exist, it's that she called my country a disgrace. You're going to vote for a party that allows that? That's been taken over by that? That is mainstream on the left. Here's Trump again. Democrats are communists. This is the message, folks. This is the message. And it's not, what proof do you have? What proof? Just listen to them talk. That's what proof. Watch.
Well, they're going radical left. They're going really, you talk about the Democrat socialists. It's really communist. That's these people. I watched that woman last night. That's not a socialist. I know socialists. That woman is a communist. And, what they don't say is that I was 16-0 last night. But mine were a little more boring, a little more mainstream. They were Republican conservatives. But we were 16-0. And if you look over the last 2.5 years, we're about 347 and just about 0. That's pretty good. But nobody writes that. But he picked 3. They won. They beat a guy named Dan Goldman, who's, a loser. He was one of my prosecutors, one of my many prosecutors that they used on me. Dan Goldman, not a good prosecutor, fortunately, but he's now looking for a job. I was very surprised to see, because he's a pretty liberal guy. When they go more liberal than Dan Goldman, they're really into Never Never Land.
Does this tell you that the Democratic Party's 2028 nominee will likely be, or could likely be, a Democratic socialist?
Well, it should make it easier for Republicans, because most of the nation is composed of sane people. They don't want to, if you look throughout history, go back thousands of years, you've always had socialism and communism by different names. It's never ever worked. It's not going to work this time.
It has never worked. I saw someone ask in the chat, what is Donald Trump's plan to fight socialism? You are the plan. He is the president of the United States. He can't cast 70 million votes by himself. And I don't mean to be I sound angry and no, I'm not. I'm passionate about this. You're the plan. Stop waiting for someone to tell you. Be the change, okay? Be the change. Be the force multiplier. You are the plan. Donald Trump's plan to stop socialism is you. Does that make sense? Donald Trump's plan to fight socialism is you. He is relying on us doing the heavy lifting. He's the president of the United States. He can only do so much. We have to carry the load. He's not on the ballot. We are the plan. We are what he's, when he says it's not going to happen, he's looking at his voters. He's looking at us. He's looking at the LFA family. He's looking at the Ungovernables. He's looking at the Misfit Army over on Sway. He's looking at, folks, he is looking at us. He is looking to us and saying, you guys have to show up in November. Beach season. Your trips. Vote first. Stop checking out. Every summer we deal with this bullcrap. Oh, I want to just go. Enough. With the feet up. You are the plan. We are the plan. We are the movement. We are the ones who can make a difference. Donald Trump is one person. We are hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions of people that are going to get up and do the heavy lifting. That's the plan. Don't worry about taking direction from some other guy. I'm not saying Donald Trump is just some other guy. What I'm saying is, don't worry about that. We have a very simple job. Bring as many people to the polls as possible so we have more numbers than them. Period. That's it. That's it. That's it. We are the plan. I hear a lot of people, I saw it coming because the White House decided to be silly and troll with the Q stuff. And, oh, look, they're posting. Stop it. Stop that right now. You know who the white hats are? You're the white hats. You want to do Patriots in control? Take control. Do not rely on some random fat ass on 4chan who's posting vague comment. Oh, let me decode. Shut up. That's a distraction. Get people to the polls. Okay? That's the plan. There are not many moderate Democrats left. And over the course of the last year and a half or so, there has been one moderate Democrat who has been vocal about the issues in his own party. Does anybody know who that person has been? Does anybody know who that person has been? Can you name that one can you name that one person in that party? You guys know who I'm talking about? There it is. Effed up Fetterman. Yes, Fetterman. Mr. 95 himself. Mr. Goodnight Everybody himself. Mr. Bang Gavel. Right? Yeah. It's Fetterman. Now, John Fetterman is a Democrat. I'm not telling you this whole, he's going to switch party. He might have to at some point, but he's a Democrat, right? John Fetterman is a Democrat, but he's not a neo-Democrat, progressive, communist, socialist, Nazi, whatever you want to call him. Like, he's not one of those people. He's a Democrat, and if I had a beer with the guy, or several, because let's be honest, he would be very fun to drink with, I think. Because he is still kind of recovering from the stroke. Right? And I just think he seems like a cool dude. I used to hate him. I mean, you can go back to 2022. I was like, this guy's a loser. He's never worked a day in his life. This guy sucks. Because he was running like they were positioning him as some sort of effed up progressive. And he did some stuff in Pennsylvania. He put a cop killer on the board of parole or pardons or whatever it is on the parole board over in Pennsylvania when he was lieutenant governor. Like, I don't love some of the things that he's done. I don't love some of the things that he stands for. And he votes with the Democrats a lot in the Senate, but he's a Democrat. It's kind of what you would expect, right? But he's been the only one. And I want to play for you a clip here. He was on Will Cain yesterday. Basically saying, hey, here it is, straight up. This is what the Democrat Party is dealing with. This is how divided they are. And this is who's taking over the party. Watch.
Like the guy in Michigan, but all of them have intensely anti-Israel thing. Now, I remain as really the last Democrat in the Senate that's proud to stand with Israel. Absolutely. And now these kinds of places like that coffee house are calling out a Jew that you're banned, just for what reason? I mean, that's what's becoming part of the Democratic Party. And now hating on Israel and essentially anti-Semitism has become like, the center of a lot of these primaries across the country. And definitely that we're witnessing in New York City.
But Senator, years gone by, you would be considered a mainstream Democrat. I was very close to Joe Lieberman, for example, a great guy. He would not want to be a part of this movement either. You're like the only person that is standing against it. What about the other people in your party? Where's Chuck Schumer? Where are other prominent Democrats? Why won't they speak out against this madness?
I mean, I'm proud to stand with Israel. Whether if I'm the last Democrat, here or not. I'm proud to stand with Israel, and I'm going to call out what I'm witnessing all across the country in all of these races. And you have these kinds of candidates that are actively trying to cram as much anti-Israel and essentially anti-Semitism into their platform. And now these are the kinds of people that are winning right now. Now, whether it's a Nazi tattoo or if it's actually someone like that Chevalier going to the pro-Hamas rally on 10/8 after 10/7 and celebrating the 10/7 massacre. Look at these kinds of people and the circles that they're in. Look at the kinds of things that Mandami's wife had liked on social media, the kinds of music that she listens to, these views, that thing, just intensely anti-Israel and intensely anti-Jewish now.
John Fetterman highlighting what I've just spent the last almost 90 minutes talking about. The anti-Israel stuff, it's not just, I'll come back to it because it's reminiscent of the Nazis, right? Let me show you one more post. And Batia, her name is Batia Ungar Sargon at BUNGARSARGON. B Ungar Sargon on X. And it's a larger Substack piece that she wrote. But this is what sums up the whole woke right thing, okay? It sums it up perfectly. Listen to me. From what they've focused on this term Zionist, right? A Zionist is somebody who believes, as far as I know, it's what I understand, a Zionist is somebody who believes the Jews, the Jewish people, have a right to their ancestral homeland, which is Israel and the borders that exist right now in Israel. That to me that's Zionism. You believe that the Jewish people have a right to their ancestral homeland in Israel. That is Zionism. There are people who are anti-Zionist, meaning they believe the Jews don't have a right to their ancestral homeland. But anti-Zionism has turned into, in many aspects, anti-Semitism. If you don't want a country to exist in its current borders, whatever, you could talk about that, right? You could say, Ukraine should be part of Russia. It doesn't mean you want Ukrainians killed. There's a difference. There's a difference. Anti-Zionism has turned into anti-Semitism, where instead of saying, I don't like, maybe the West Bank should belong, maybe there should be a two-state solution, maybe there should be this, maybe they're saying from the river to the sea, Palestine should be free, Israel shouldn't exist. And then that breaks into, well, you're a Jew and Jews this and Jews that, and Jews are only advancing the cause of Israel, and Jews, and we wind up with this. And you have seen it all across the social media. Matt Gaetz has done it. Oh, AIPAC handlers. Oh my gosh. Let me shoot more Botox into my face. Matt Gaetz. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Tucker Carlson. Ian Carroll. And so on and so forth. The Haji twins. Owen Schroyer. Alex Jones. All these people who become obsessed with Jews. I'm not saying you can't be critical of Israel. I'm critical of Israel. I'm critical of the money. I'm scrutinous of the money that we send over there. Listen, this is the most important message that I've probably ever said on the show. This confirms and perfectly sums up the reason why we have been fighting so hard on our side. And the weaklings who have refused to speak up, shame on you. Because you don't want to give up your clout? Oh, I don't want to ruin a relationship that I have with... Shut up! Stand for something or fall for everything, you weak bitch of a man or woman. Shut up and stand for something. You're fine with having all these freaking connections, right? Oh, I don't want to burn a bridge. But when push comes to shove, and those connections that you have are a threat to our party and our country, you're nowhere to be found. What a joke. I don't care about the bridges. I'll burn a bridge with anybody. If I think you're being an asshole, I'm going to burn a bridge. I may rebuild the bridge later. But I'll cut you off like this. This, what I'm about to read to you, is probably the most. I'm mad that I didn't come up with this, but this is great that it's out there. Batya Ungar Sargon, B Ungar Sargon on X. Anti-Zionism has become a gateway drug to the left. Anti-Zionism has become a gateway drug to the left. Meaning, the minute you start dabbling in the anti-Zionism, in the hatred for Israel, which then manifests itself as an overall hatred for Jewish people. Once you start doing that, we look at that and we go, that's not welcome here. But there is a place where it is welcome. And that's on the left. It's a gateway drug. She continues. Anti-Zionism has become a gateway drug to the left for the simple reason that the right continues to police its borders and insist that people who make their Israel derangement syndrome into their entire personality have no place in their party. Mic drop. Mic drop. There it is. If your biggest issue is Israel and Zionists, and that's issue number one for you, then you are not America first, and you are not welcome on our side of the aisle. Anti-Zionism has become a gateway drug to the left. The Substack article is titled, "One Party is Purging Anti-Semites, the Other Party is Electing Them." Bingo. Bingo. I'm going to play one more clip of a Democrat being asked about socialism. You know, this is fine. Hey, can you name where socialism has actually worked? This Democrat has no answer for that question.
Where has socialism ever worked, Senator?
Is that another question, or is that for the next interview?
That's definitely for you. You said fish doesn't work everywhere. I just want to know one place where socialism has been beneficial.
Well, when you have me come back on, we can talk about all the races across the country.
Ready.
Yeah, there's no answer. You know why? It's not that she doesn't have an answer. It's that there is no answer. Every time socialism has been implemented, every single time, it has resulted in starvation, genocide, oppression, inequality, poverty. She doesn't have an answer because there is no answer. She didn't even go down the Bernie Sanders. Norway, Denmark, Sweden, they are socialists. But if you ask Norway, Denmark, and Sweden, hey, are you guys socialist countries? They're like, no, we're capitalist countries that tax our people a lot for social programs, but we're not like socialist. They're free market. It's like, it's not socialism. It's not pure socialism. All right. It's Mo time, so let me give you a honk. Honk that hog. Hey, it only took us, an hour and a half. Shouldn't, but that's okay. It took us an hour and a half here on Thursday. Rumble.com/LFA TV. Appreciate you guys and gals being here. I want to take a quick break, and then we're going to move to a totally different, because we spent 97 minutes on this. Okay? And I want to give you a little bit more. I have a bunch of stuff here. I want to give you a little bit more. We're going to go to the reflecting pool. Who here loves the great Ben Bergwijn? I love Ben Bergwijn. He's a great guy. Like one of the nicest people I've met. Really cool dude. So I'm going to play a clip from him at the reflecting pool yesterday. So we'll play a little Ben Bergwijn, and then we'll jump through a couple of other stories, and then we'll be out for the day before you even know it. 2 hours will be gone. All right, here we go. Let's face it, folks. A word from our friends at Silent. Your phone is a tracking device and a listening device too, but it's definitely tracking you. Your phone is a tracking device. Between government agencies, big tech, corporate data brokers, even cyber criminals, they're all fighting for a piece of your digital footprint, and they don't ask. They just go on and take it. That is why Silent exists. Silent makes Faraday gear that blocks all wireless signals. Cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, RFID, and near-field communications. No signal means no tracking, no remote access, and no breadcrumbs. It's the same technology that's trusted by special operations teams around the world, used to block signals, avoid surveillance, and secure communications wherever the mission leads. And right now it is available to you so you can protect your family, you can protect your freedom, and you can secure your digital footprint. Just drop your phone in a Silent Faraday sleeve and it's off the grid, completely silent and invisible to the outside world. From their backpacks to their sleeves to their crossbodies, Silent's patented technology gives you total control of your privacy. Visit slnt.com/Sean to get 15% and free shipping on qualifying orders. That is slnt.com/Sean, SHAWN. Protect your rights, secure your data, and stay one step ahead. Silent.com. Say it. Silence the chaos. Go silent today. slnt.com/SHAWN for 15% off and free shipping on qualifying orders. All right. The Democrats, remember what they were doing? What's the new mascot of the left? I got socialism, communism. We're going to kind of have a little bit more fun, though. What is the new mascot of the left? Let's see if anybody in the chat can say it or guess it. The new mascot of the left. What is the thing that they've just rallied around this week and last week, parts of last week and into this week? What are they rallying around now? Because it's giving Donald Trump a hard time. What is the new... There it is. C. Michaels has got it. Ding, 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 ding. Algae. Yes. Thank you. You guys got it. I didn't even have to give them any hints. Algae is the answer. Algae is the new mascot of the left. A turd is also. But algae is the new mascot of the left. Look at this. Algae. Algae. Is that an algae in McGroin? What? Algae in McGroin? Go. That's so funny. Thank you. Thank you. I needed that laugh. Algae. Yes. Yes. Algae is the new mascot of the left. Remember, they were talking to the algae?
Algae is doing good today, honey. Team Algae. We're sweethearts. Everybody's proud of you. You are single-handedly doing more to fight fascism than any American has. Yes. Let's go, Algae. Yeah, Algae. Woo! Algae! Did you turn around?
Okay. So, in honor of that, I have now added a new soundboard drop to my my board. It is... Algae! Algae! Freedom! We scream freedom, they scream algae. Which side are you on? But on a fun note, the Democrats, because they are the biggest algae supporters in the country, I can't get enough of this story. I think it's funny. Are not going to be happy with the new news that is coming out of the reflecting pool. The great Ben Bergwijn of Real America's Voice, who Brennan calls Big Smile. When she couldn't remember his name. And she goes, that the guy with the big smile? You see Ben, he always has this huge smile. His smile lights up the room. I said, yes, Big Smile. Big Smile Ben Bergwijn was down over at the reflecting pool in Washington, D.C. and shows you that the reflecting pool is blue, baby. It's blue. I'm thinking, what do you think? Should I do a Donald Trump bit? I'm blue. If I was green, I would die. You know what I'm saying? About the algae, right? I don't know. Maybe there's a joke in there, too, like, how do we turn the reflecting pool blue? Let's just drop off some mail-in ballots at 3 a.m. Everything goes blue when that happens. I don't know. I'm thinking the wheels are turning. You let me know what you think. But here's Ben Bergwijn in the meantime. It's a great little video he shot outside of the reflecting pool. And I love Ben. Ben is a great guy. Watch it.
Made it down to the reflecting pond, and it's blue, baby. Yes, God bless America.
Smile.
The question I have for the liberals, especially the miserable ones out here wearing their algae outfits that are celebrating the algae that they put in there, what are you running for? Do you have any policies other than hating President Trump, hating ICE, and hating babies? That seems to be all the Democrats run on anymore. But God bless America. It looks beautiful. You don't have to be a miserable liberal. You too can be happy. Reject the lies, reject the hate, invite Jesus into your heart. Not jihad, not communism. You need Jesus. Rashida, you need Jesus. Enjoy the blue, baby. Beautiful blue. Look at that. That is awesome. Very nice. Nice job, President Trump. And your pool guy.
Ben Bergquam of Real America's Voice, the legend, as my wife calls him, Big Smile. I say Big Smile Ben. He's got the biggest smile I've ever seen in the history of the world. He says, all you guys in your algae costumes. Algae! Algae! Freedom! We're out there. Freedom! They're out there. Algae! Algae! What a joke. I love Ben. It's blue, baby. Enjoy the reflecting pool. Great guy. And a great job. Again, it's all about the contrast. You know what? One more thing, speaking of the reflecting pool. Did you see this is a cute moment with the National Guard? Did you see this with the ducklings? Here you go.
Algae is doing...
That's not algae. Whoa. That's not it. This is it. Look at the ducklings. They're walking up to the National Guard. That's cute. It's a little duck. Cute little duckling. You think the left is now anti-duckling? You think so? Well, a duck must be a fascist. It must get... Would you put it past them? I wouldn't put it past them. All right. Yesterday on Florida's Voice, I talked about this story a bunch. And... I don't know. I'm one of these. I like the... And anyone here a fan of the MAHA movement? Make America Healthy Again. Let me know in the live chat. MAHA. Make America Healthy Again. Remember, the MAHA movement essentially started with Bobby Kennedy, who obviously is a very healthy person. And I'm a big fan of the MAHA movement myself. Granted, I could do a little better, but for the last 9 months, I've been pretty damn good. Okay? I love the MAHA movement. There you go. It's a lot of people. Me and MAHA, love the MAHA, make America healthy again. Remember, Bobby Kennedy, a Democrat who admitted he came to the conclusion, hey, the party has left me. MAHA movement. I love the MAHA movement. I think it's great. Even if you would consider yourself not currently a healthy person, you could still love the idea of making America healthy again, right? And you can use that to better your own life. Like, I'll be completely honest with you, right? Like last September, I was like, you know what? I'm done with it. I've been eating a lot of junk food. I'm not exercising. I'm not doing it. And made a conscious decision. I'm just going to start doing some, I don't go Olympic training in my garage, but I got a treadmill and a few kettlebells and things, and I use it to stay in shape. Healthy body, healthy mind, longevity, etc. It's a good thing to do. I eat keto. I'm not telling you you've got to do that. I do that because I love eating meat. I love pork. I love the beef. We love the beef, right? Roast beef, it's great. Wings and all that. It's for me. It's not for everybody. My point is, make America healthy again. I love the movement. There are some people who don't, simply because Donald Trump embraced it. So it's like, make America unhealthy again. Mauha. Make M-A-U-H-A. Mauha. Make America unhealthy again. Okay. There's been a lot of talk about the SNAP program, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Okay? The key word in that acronym is what? It's not supplemental. It's not assistance. It's not program. It's what the N stands for. What does the N stand for in SNAP? Nutrition. Is there an immense or even like a prevalent nutritional value in soda? Excuse me. Oh! I just sneezed my headphone off. That was insane. There's another one loading. A federal judge has blocked, this is again on CNN, a federal judge has blocked state bans on buying soda and candy with food stamps. 5 people were like, oh, the soda that I buy has the nutritional benefits for my diabetes. You could also, I don't know, buy like fruit that has the sugar if you want to use that to like actual nutritious things. This is, I might sound cold. I might sound heartless. I might sound like I don't have emotions. I might sound like I don't have feelings, but this is how I feel. If you're on Snap and you're going to use my money, American taxpayer money, to buy food because you need help and you need assistance, that's okay. I hope you get out of that situation and get back on your feet, and I hope things improve for you and you find a new job, or maybe you begin to work for yourself and things become lucrative. Oh, fine. You need a hand up? I'll give you a hand up. What I will not tolerate, what I will not stand for, are people who are using SNAP money to buy ice cream, to buy junk food, to buy candy, to buy soda. That is not what that money is for. SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. You are not getting anything nutritious when you buy a pack of gummy bears, when you drink a Coca-Cola, when you eat a tub of ice cream. If you're going to use my money, your money, American taxpayer money, to buy food under the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, then you need to buy food that is nutritious, that can actually nourish you. You cannot exist on gummy bears. You cannot exist on soda. If you like sugar, buy something that naturally has sugar. I don't know, a banana, an apple, some strawberries. Not junk. If you want to buy junk food, this is a free country. You can buy junk food, but you can't use my money to do it. If the money is earmarked for people to spend on nutrition, then they need to spend it on nutrition, not crap. And I have absolutely no tolerance for this. The government can't tell me what I can and can't buy in the supermarket with my own money. With your own money. But if you're going to use my money, our money, American taxpayer dollars, you better not be buying crap that is not nutritious. You better not be buying crap that is contributing to an unhealthy lifestyle, because chances are, and this is not the case all the time, but chances are, if you're in a tough situation, and I feel for you, I really do. I'm not shaming you. Maybe you made a few bad decisions and got yourself into a bad situation. Maybe you didn't. And you're in a bad way right now. Things just are falling apart around you and you're having a tough time. Whatever the case may be, I'm all right with giving you a hand up, trying to get you back on your feet, give you a second chance, build your life back. But think about it. If you're receiving SNAP benefits, you probably can't afford health care either, right? So if you're taking American taxpayer dollars into the supermarket and coming out with chips, ice cream, soda, candy, ultra-processed garbage, not nutritional food, then what's going to happen? You're going to eat that stuff, and your health is going to continue to decrease. And then because probably, since you can't afford food and you need a little help, and that's okay, you probably also can't afford health care. So now you're buying stuff with taxpayer dollars that is not making you healthier, that is making you less healthy or unhealthy. And now you're going to use taxpayer dollars to treat the conditions that are being brought about by the food that you're buying with taxpayer. You're funding, it's like what we do in overseas. You're funding both sides of the freaking war. This ruling is ridiculous. You should not be allowed to buy junk food on SNAP. That's not controversial. If you want to buy ice cream, spend your own $7. Don't spend mine. You don't understand. I do understand. I do understand. Thankfully, by the grace of God, we have enough money we can buy what we want in the supermarket. I still avoid beef because it's too expensive. And I like pork. Okay? I don't buy junk food. I don't buy ice cream. We have some, but I don't eat a lot. I do, like I said, I do keto. I used to do heavy cream and cocoa powder and make my own ice cream. I stopped doing that too because it was bothering my stomach. I don't buy this stuff because I look at it and say, there's no nutritional value. I want to put stuff into my body that's pretty good. And the food I eat's not great. I get the stuff in the supermarket. There's hormones in the meat. I get it. Whether or not that cooks it, I understand there's microplastics. I'm not saying I'm perfect. But my goodness gracious, for a couple years, I was eating anything I wanted. And I felt gross, and I looked gross, and I wasn't happy with it. I do get it. If you want to buy ice cream in the supermarket, use your own money. Don't use the government money that came from me, that came from other people that worked hard. We're working hard to give you a hand up to help you. And you using our hand up money on junk isn't helping you, because then you're going to wind up in the doctor's office with some horrible condition because of the crap that you're eating. And now we have to pay for that too. And it's a never-ending cycle. Maybe I'm cold. Maybe I'm heartless. Maybe I don't get it. Or maybe I do. And this common sense solution is something we should all try and implement, especially with SNAP. I'm not telling you that if you're on SNAP that you're lesser than me. I'm not saying that at all. I don't want to sound like that. Hand up, not a handout. I'd love to help. But you also have to help yourselves. And the folks who are receiving this money also have to help themselves. Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. There is no nutrition in junk food. It'll only create more problems. All right, quick word from our friends at goldencrestmetals.com/LFA, and then we'll wrap up for the day. Here you go.
I'm sure by now you've heard that silver went up 160% last year, 2025. I bought this silver for $22 an ounce. It's now worth almost $100. And we and experts think that silver is going to get up to about $200 an ounce. Palladium and platinum were stuck at $900 an ounce for like over a year, or in that area. Now they're up over $2,000. Gold is approaching $5,000 an ounce. If you have ever thought about putting some or all of your retirement or nest egg or savings or just buying bullion in precious metals, now's the time to do it. goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. That's goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. Go leave your name, your email, and your phone number. Schedule a time to talk to the folks over at Golden Crest Metals. Get your free gold guide today, and make sure you tune in on Saturdays at 1 p.m. for the Crest Report, where we dive deep into precious metals, why they're doing what they're doing, and where we expect them to go. It is like insider trading. Nancy Pelosi knows about that. We don't. It's just inside information. It's not even really that. It's called knowledge. Get yours today and get a part of gold, silver, palladium, and platinum, and diversify your portfolio today. GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA.
That's goldencrestmetals.com/LFA, goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. The last thing I'll say on the snap thing is, like, again, I'm not telling anybody. I'll have to listen back to this, make sure I got the point across. But, like, if you eat ice cream, like, fine, eat ice cream. It's there. You could eat it. If you're using your own money, I'm not going to tell you how to spend it. I don't. That doesn't mean you don't have to. What I'm saying is, again, if you get taxpayer dollars, you can't buy junk food with it if you're supposed to be spending it on nutritious foods. Well, some of the healthy foods, they all cost more. Pork is cheap. Chicken is cheap. Eggs are cheap. Some of the produce is cheap. It may not be the highest quality stuff, but it's better than putting ice cream and junk food into your body and wasting our money doing so. And if you get to a point in time where you have enough disposable income where you don't need SNAP benefits anymore, buy whatever you want. But I think that when you get to that point and you're used to eating healthy, you're not going to crave it anymore. I don't crave ice cream. I like it. But I see it in my freezer every day. It's there. We have it there. We want it. And I'm not like, oh, man, I really want ice cream. I want the ice cream right now. No, I'm just like, doesn't fit into my plan. Can't have it. Some days I can. I'll cheat. I'll go off plan. Most days I won't. Discipline. You'll be much better off. But this idea that that you could buy junk food on SNAP, that's ridiculous, and it's got to stop. It's got to stop. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching and listening today. We greatly appreciate it. 2 hours, it flew by. I know the first 90 minutes were, I want to say, not repetitive, but I would say not redundant. We reinforced the same idea, though. The reason why we forced out those people from our party is because we didn't want to see our party destroyed and taken over by radicals. The only place that we are seeing all these anti-Jew, anti-Israel ideas flourish is on the left. We told you that was coming. Anti-Zionism is a gateway drug to the left. We knew that was coming, and it is happening in real time. So if you've been with us for the last 2 years or so, congratulations. You've been way ahead of the curve. Thank you so much for everybody watching and listening. Appreciate it. I believe Hannah Faulkner and I think Kevin Smith recorded a show together that's going to be airing next from 12 to 1. And then I think Will Johnson is doing 2 hours today here on rumble.com/LFA TV. I'll be back here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern time for 1 hour. Tomorrow here on rumble.com/LFA TV. And it's a Fairish Friday on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT tomorrow morning from 7:45 to 9:45 right before we go live here. Thank you so much for watching and listening. As President Trump says, we will never give up, we will never give in, and we will never ever surrender. And if all else fails, we'll just become ungovernable. Thank you. God bless you. God bless this one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time, rumble.com/LFA TV. Subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts by searching for Ungoverned. Hit that subscribe button. It helps us fly up the charts there. We've seen incredible growth. So thank you. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow morning. And thank you for your attention to this matter.